Hey guys, today we are making my New York Style Bagels. I grew up in upstate New York where all of the local delis got bagels from the city, and there is nothing like a freshly baked bagel. They are super light and soft on the inside and chewy on the outside, and you can customize them to make whatever your favorite bagel flavor is. So let's go get started. So I have 1¼ cups of warm water. We want it to reach about 100 degrees, not any higher or it will kill the yeast. So I like to use a stick thermometer for that. And then to that I am adding in 1½ tablespoons of sugar and 1 packet of active dry yeast, or about 2 teaspoons. And we just want to let that sit and bloom for about 5 minutes. So while we're waiting, we're going to combine 3½ cups of flour with 1½ teaspoons of salt. And we just want to make a well in the center. And then we are just going to stir that yeast mixture to dissolve it and pour it all into that well. And then we just want to give that a good stir until it forms a kind of shaggy dough. Now you can do all of this in your stand mixer using the dough hook attachment, but for those of you who don't have a stand mixer, I wanted to show you how I do the kneading by hand. And while it does take some more time, it is pretty easy to do. So once that is combined, I'm just going to dump that out on a lightly floured surface. And what we want to do here is knead the dough for about 10 minutes until it's nice and smooth. So the motion that I'm doing here is I fold it in half on top of itself and then use the palm of my hand to just push forward. And that's that kind of motion. So you fold and push forward, fold and push forward, and then eventually you will get a really nice smooth dough. It will no longer look shaggy. And if it is sticking to your hands, you can just dust a little bit more flour on top as you go. But it's really as simple as that. It definitely takes a little elbow grease, but it is absolutely doable. So once that is all done, I am placing that in a lightly oiled bowl, and as you can see here, as I'm pressing into the dough, it's slightly sticky, but it doesn't leave anything on my finger, and that's what we're looking for. So we just want to cover this with some plastic wrap and a dish towel and place it somewhere warm. And we'll let that rise for about 1 hour or until it's doubled in size. So now I'm just going to turn that back out onto a lightly floured surface. And this dough makes 8 bagels. So what I'm going to do is divide this dough in half, because I'm going to do half everything bagel and half cinnamon raisin. So for the cinnamon raisin, we need to mix the cinnamon and raisins right into the dough. The everything bagel seasoning gets put on top later. So I'm just using my bench scraper to divide the dough. And then on the half that I am doing cinnamon raisin, I am sprinkling cinnamon, about a teaspoon, and about a ½ cup of raisins, and you can add more or less. And then I'm just going to lightly knead that into the dough and then divide that into 4. So now to form our bagels, I am going to take each of the triangles and just roll it into a ball. And you can make a rope and connect the ends together, but I find that when I do that, a lot of times it falls apart if you don't seal it correctly. So I like to just simply poke a hole in the center using my thumb and just lightly stretch it out, and that's how you get the whole of your bagel. So then we just want to place them on a sheet pan and cover them with a damp towel just to rest for 10 minutes. And while those rest, I am preheating my oven to 425 degrees and bringing a large pot of water to a boil. So once the water is boiling, we want to lower the bagels in 2 or 3 at a time. And we just want to boil them for about 2 minutes per side. And then place them back on a parchment-lined cookie sheet. And you want to be really gentle when you're doing this so that you don't splash the boiling water up on yourself, but using tongs to flip them is really helpful. You could also use a spatula to get them out. I use both. I find that using the tongs to try and get them out, they're not cooked all the way, so they may rip. So using the spatula to get them out is much more helpful. So then I'm going to brush the tops of all of them with egg wash. But on the plain bagels here, I am going to sprinkle some everything bagel seasoning. You could do this with poppy seeds, sesame seeds, Asiago cheese. Sky is the limit. So then we just want to put these in our preheated oven and bake them for about 20 minutes or until they are golden brown and delicious. And there you have it, my New York style bagels. I really hope you enjoyed coming along with me and making them. They are definitely a bit time consuming, but they are really easy to make, and I like to even double or triple this recipe sometimes, slice them in half and pop them in the freezer, and that way we always have bagels that taste like they came fresh out of the oven. And there is really nothing better than that. It's just another one of those recipes, as I was saying back a few videos ago, that I used to make all the time from scratch, and I'm trying to slowly get back into the habit of making more things and keeping them on hand. If you give them a try, please be sure to leave me a comment and let me know what you think, and thank you so much for watching until the end. We will see you in the next one. Bye!